Thank you so much. And Alain Gomis is back. Thank you, Alain, for being with us tonight. So I think maybe I'm going to ask a few questions to start, and then we can open up to the audience. That's okay with you? Yeah. And we'll speak slowly. I just wanted to start with asking you, like watching Tay, and I have seen it several times, there's quite a change in pace in both films. So what was the origin of this project? And, why did you move from... Also, you shot in Congo for the first time, I believe. So can you talk about that to open the discussion?
I think a part of this film is born doing Tay, and Tay is the main character is played by Saul Williams, and there is two sequences with the character to love of his life, and shooting this sequence, I had I just wanted to stay with these characters, with this woman, and so it's. I started to think that maybe it was time for me to try to make a film with a female character as a lead part, and so it's how it started. Then I had this Félicité, this woman, this strong woman, inspired by some women I knew in Senegal, and I wanted also to make something about the city, the big city in Africa, and to go more, to go more in the south of Senegal, to be closer from the forest for another kind of energy, and I had also this music in mind, the music of the band, the Casa All Star.
Yeah. Very amazing.
And it was for me, yes. For me, it is the music that represents very well the big cities and the life in the, this mixture of traditional music and also the and playing this music is now played also in bars and things. So it's a kind of mix with what is the life in the urban city. Well, je suis fatigué.
You're doing great. Your English is very good.
Thank you. But so, and this music doesn't exist in Senegal. In fact, this kind of music. So, and I was trying to write something, and I had this music in mind, and it was like this music in the voice of the real singer, because Félicité, the Viggo that play the part of Félicité is not a singer, so the real voice is the voice of Montbui, the real singer of the Casa Star. And hearing that music, it was like I was hearing the voice of the character I was writing at the time. So I thought that maybe this film could be in Kinshasa, and so I went to Kinshasa, and so the film is different because the city is very different. Dakar is a very quiet city. Kinshasa is a very big city, like 13 million of people there. And yes, what was the question again?
Well, it was like, the difference between Tay and this one, and why you were shooting in the Republic of Congo for the first time, but you answered this, and it comes from the music, pretty much, and changing the pace.
Yeah.
And how did you meet Vero then?
She came, we made an audition, and she came there by chance. In fact, a friend of hers just told him just to try. And so the first time I've seen her, she came, and she was very different from the character I have imagined, which was who was a small, skinny woman. And so I've seen Vero, and I say, okay, let's try a little part like the nurse. But she was so powerful since the beginning, and with this ability to make the situation like very concrete. That I asked her to come back, and to come back again, and to go back again. And each time I was saying, yeah, okay, no, it's not her, but I could take my eyes off her. She got this, even when she's remained silent, she's so, she got this special, she stays a kind of mysterious thing into her. And so I had to follow her, I had to accept her, and then to follow her more than I have imagined before. And she brought so much to the film. It was a wonderful experience trying to work with her. I never worked with an actress with this kind of strength, and so you can't fight against her. You just have to make a kind of like a tai chi thing. Then yes, just try to. And that was the wonderful experience for me, to trying to make a film in this city that I didn't know, in a language that I didn't speak. With this woman, and trying to just be here and listen and put the things together, not being really like the master, but just trying to be at the right place at the right moment. Yeah, it was cool to do that.
I mean, she's mesmerizing, and it's true, you can't take your eyes off her.
Yeah.
So it's hard to imagine the film with someone else. You know, and it's a big role, and she seems exact. Idea we would have a Félicité. I wanted to ask about the structure of the film also. You know, there's a lot of like reality and social issues that come to the film, but you're very lyrical, and you go into like even like, you know, dream sequences, and you mix reality and dreams in a very fluid way. So can you talk about your approach to that?
I just wanted at the beginning to have an easy entrance into the movie, to have like a film like a normal film, because I wanted to be able to show this film to in this kind of places, in this kind of neighborhood, and I just wanted to have, yes, a kind of easy access. But after that, there is a second part, because for me the film is really about this woman just falling down and come back to life, and there is something that can't be really tell. It's more an experience for me to live than a film to watch. So I think that my work is trying to put some elements, and then I expect that the viewer will be the link between these different elements, in fact. Sometimes there are things, you know, when you try to be too much of comment on dit, quand on essaye de cerner trop les choses.
When you're trying to make things too, I mean, you mean too real, like too,
quand on essaie,
too clear?
When you're trying to be too exhaustive, you lose something. Something.
You're too precise, and you lose like the mystery.
It's just like if you try to d'approcher un animal,
to tame an animal.
Yeah, and you have to do it. You have to close your eyes sometime, you know, and feel this animal, but not trying to capture it. So I don't know if it's clear. But,
are you talking about Félicité or the film?
About the film, about this feeling of, you know, losing yourself and you know, even now it's difficult for me to explain. This woman that is so strong, that is fighting, and she's fighting since her birth, and what happened into this film, which is this accident and very bad things, in fact, is also a possibility for her to discover herself. maybe it's a way for her to learn to live, also to accept something. You can comment dire, plier. You can bend. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the word is. Non, que tu peux pas plier le monde à ta volonté.
You can't put the world according to what you think or you want, right? You can't direct the world.
You can't direct the world. Yeah, so you can't direct the world. So it's really about her will and acceptance. This is kind of dialogue that she has to have with herself.
Did you write the script entirely from the beginning, and you knew already you were going to have this structure, or it came when we were filming and you were like going in a different world?
The script was entirely written, but then, in fact, with doing the rehearsal and working with the actors, we had like we knew the structure of the sequences and the melody of the sequences, and we had like some meeting points, but between these points everything was free, and we were open to accident, and so yes, it was a very open shooting, and we have like put situation into the real life, and the crew was there to not close the set to the real life, but to be able to accept, you know.
So just you were shooting real life in Kinshasa at the same time, but you were mixing with, you know, like the more like traditional narrative.
It's like we were in the market, or you know, this sequence. She goes to see this woman because this woman owe her some money, and so we were shooting in a courtyard with the people that lived really in this place, and the woman go and take her child and say, okay, you can sell it because I don't have money to pay you, and then a man that really live into this courtyard stood up and say, no, you can't do that, you know, and get into the film, and it was a beautiful moment, because he was just saying that if the situation were true, and if I were there, I would have done this. And so I said, okay, let's give him a microphone and let's do it again. And then the second text, 2 other people came, and the third, 3, and so this sequence was supposed to be with these 2 characters become to be, yeah, like a group, and it's much more stronger like that. So it's how to propose a kind of situation and interact with the reality.
Can you talk just a little bit about the cinematography? I think you worked with Celine Bozone. If you've seen other film in the festival, she also shot Mrs. Hyde, that we just played. And I'm really interested into the night scene that are there shot. So maybe you can talk a little bit about working with Celine.
Celine is just an amazing DP. She's totally impliquée dans le film.
Implicated in the film.
Okay. Nothing can stop her.
She's like Félicité then.
She's like Félicité, yeah. And so she had headphones and I had a microphone, so we could do like a long text and be able to speak together and to adapt the camera to what was going on at this moment, and just trying to, you know, it was like a jam session, you know, you're playing with the others, and sometimes somebody proposes something, and so we all go in this direction together, but we all have this in mind, that we have some meeting points, as I say, and so it's a pleasure to be lost when you know that, in fact, at one moment we were gonna meet here and there. I'm sorry, my English is, is horrible, but just trying to, you know, let the film happen. It was really about that. Let's make a film together. And I just wanted to have this kind of neighborhood, this kind of people onto the screen, and to have something about this dignity. It was very important for me to do this film and to say, okay, life hurts sometimes, but in fact we can make it. We're doing it actually every day. Every day is a fight, but we're still here. And the life that is qui nous est vendu, the world that we see usually on screen, is not a real world. Our world is a real world, so we don't have to be ashamed of us. We can love each other because, I mean, yeah, we're doing it.
You mentioned it was important for you to make the film accessible for a certain audience, and then you can, you know, go into your own world. But so you've shown the film in where it was shot already?
Yeah.
Okay, and with people who are in the film or other audience?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah, and how did that go?
It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They were all pride.
Okay.
First of all, to see a film in Lingala,
Mm-hmm.
then to see themselves, to recognize themselves, and to think, oh, okay, so we're beautiful. And so they were screening, there were a lot of reaction during the screening. People encouraging Félicité, some other insulting taboo. And yeah, it was a very great moment. And we've traveling a lot in Africa, trying to bring the film to this kind of audience.
I mean, not just festival audience, you know.
No,
like
we've been on
you know,
to basketball field, into university, in the streets, everywhere.
I just, before we have to wrap up, maybe some audience question. Yes, there's someone here. So it's a question about the government, and is there a lot of restriction around there, or did you have any issues or censorship? Or?
No, so it was in Congo, and so they wanted to see the script. So I've made a special script for the government.
A special script.
Yeah, you know, without the hospital, without all this kind of thing. And so you have to, on the set, you're obliged to have a kind of a policeman of the renseignement.
It's like someone who doesn't do security, but like would tell or warn the government about what your activities.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But because
the FBI.
That's kind of yeah. And but half of the crew was from Congo, so they knew the good one to pick, you know. So this one was, it was an easy one. So he let us do what we wanted to do. So in fact, it wasn't that difficult. I came to Kinshasa maybe 1 year before the shooting, so we had time to prepare all that. So yes, it's a country where, you know, even now, the political situation is very difficult there. There is still this President Kabila who wants to stay. It's now more than 1 year that his mandate is finished. But he still wants to stay. I think he liked to be president.
Apparently, some people like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah,
But do you get governmental support at all, or like
no?
No. Okay.
No.
Mm-hmm. So the best that can happen is no one stopping you from filming.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we have time for one last question, and we're going to have to wrap it up. So if there's someone else that's in the back, if there's someone here, yes? There's a microphone.
How did you deal, if the Lingala is obviously not your language, how do you direct a film in a language completely different than your own native language, or do you have coaches? How do you do that? How do you deal with that challenge?
In fact, it was very... c'était libératoire, comme on dit.
It was freeing.
Yeah, because when you don't speak the language, you have a connection based on sensation and based on emotion. You're not here to say to an actor, maybe you could say it this way. It's more about what you feel, and you have to be very present. You have to be, and in fact, it's much more easier. Sometimes you're just lost, but you try to connect in another way. So it's been a wonderful experience, in fact, to me. I knew the sequences, I knew the story because I was supposed to have written it. But yes, sometimes you cross the planet and you meet somebody and you feel an intimacy that you can't even feel with your own brother and your own sister. So, yeah, it was better. Hmm? Yeah. So, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alain. Thank you, everyone. The movie is opening October 27th, so thanks again to Strand Releasing for bringing the film. And thanks so much for coming here.